It's time for another 10-minute exercise to help you master memory techniques. This week, we're going to be focusing on names and faces. I know we did an exercise for names and faces about 2 weeks ago, but don't worry, this is the second part because it's all going to make sense. And so this exercise is very similar to the exercise we did with words, but it's a little bit different on how useful it is at the end of the day. So I'm going to explain that at the end. So what you're going to do is for the first 5 minutes, you're going to get a whole bunch of random names and create images for them. So for example, here, Axel, I picture an axe. Gut, I don't know how to pronounce it. I picture guts. Go to the next one, Caroline. I picture a whole bunch of carolers. Chung, I picture the carolers chugging. And so you get the point, right? You just go through and create images for a whole bunch of different names. Now, I recommend that you use international names like what I'm doing on the screen that you see. Because we live in a diverse world, so you never know who you're going to meet and what name they might have, right? So it's better to get used to making images for long and more complicated names because you're going to be more prepared. Because, of course, if you have a short name like Jeff, that's going to be really easy to come up with an image for, right? Jeff, chef's hat. But something like, let's see, something like her last name, Verakaleo? I'm not sure, but coming up with the image is going to be a little bit harder for that, right? But if you're really good at making images for harder names, man, you're going to be set when it comes to memorizing names' faces. So I do recommend using international names. So that's going to be the first 5 minutes, creating images for names. Now, for the other 5 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to come back and look at your images for the names and see if you can recall what that image represents, what name it represents. So like I told you, if I come back and I have axe down, I'm like, okay, axe, what did axe represent? Axe, Axel. Yeah, Axel was the name. Sorry, check, correct. Now, the next one, right? Gut. I'm like, hey, guts. Guts. It's like Gunther, Gunker. I'm not sure. And so, of course, I would check it like, okay, yeah, I would, I wouldn't be sure if I would spell it correctly. But you're probably, you're probably pronouncing the name. So you want your images that you come up for the names to be similar to how you actually pronounce the name. So for the last 5 minutes, you're checking if you could trigger the actual name from your image. Now, what's different about names is that names repeat, right? And so I'm not saying you have to drill the images you create for names every day, really drill them until you know them perfectly. No, what I'm saying is the sheets that you write them down on, or if it's a Excel sheet or a Word document, whatever it is, sometimes just go through and just review your images for some of those names. Because I met a lot of Jeffs at school, at the school I go to, the middle schoolers. A lot of children are named Ashton. Okay, not a lot, like 2 or 3 are named Ashton. And so for me to have that image, initially I can make an image for Ashton. Okay, Ashton, I'm going to picture a whole bunch of ash, right? And maybe I didn't really drill that a lot, but maybe I meet a new Ashton. I'm like, hey, what's your name? Ashton, my name is Johnny. So in my head, I'm like, wait, Ashton, Ash. So maybe the connection to actually come up with an image for that name is already kind of in my subconscious, right? Because I made an image for Ashton already, but since I kind of reviewed it, I didn't really drill it. I just kind of went through and looked at it. I have that image subconsciously in my memory. And so that's what I recommend you do. After, you create your images for names and you finish this exercise, go back and review the images that you have for some of the names. Now, I know some of the images might, be completely awful, and that's why you may have forgotten the actual name. That's okay. But some of the images that you like for the names, just review it, make a little star next to it, okay? Because I want to help you kind of build a database of images for names, because it's a lot easier to memorize someone's name when you don't have to create an image on the spot. And so something like Axel, probably from now on, whenever I see Axel, I'm going to think of an axe, okay? Because something else, when I think about it more, possible images could be an axle from like a car, right? And so that's why you kind of just want to have that little list there. So maybe the next time you do this exercise, right before you do it, you review that list, okay? So of course, if I did memorize his name like this, Axel, right? And so, yeah, so when you combine this names and face exercise, because it's like part 2, with the other face and name exercise, oh my god, that's when you're going to master names, and it's going to be so easy for you to memorize names if it's 10 names, 20 names, even 100 names, because all it comes down to is practicing. So hopefully you're following my series where I'm actually going through and memorizing international names, and you're seeing my progress I'm making, right? That's all it comes down to, practicing. But these different exercises I'm giving you are going to help you a lot. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Subscribe to my channel for more videos on memory techniques, how to do better in school, memory challenges, updates, and much more. Also remember to click the notification bell so you know when I upload a video. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links are down below in the description. You also can check out these videos. If you want to learn all the memory techniques and learn how to apply them to all sorts of information, or if you want to start competing in memory competitions, you can check out my programs down below in the description. Look forward to my next video and get ready to get the best memory of your life.